Millennials are America's future, and often its favorite punchline. People say we're young, but the oldest millennials are nearing 40. People say we're dumb, but we're the most educated generation ever. And people say we're spoiled, but we're the first generation in American history who will be worse off financially than our parents. We're traveling across the country to find out how young Americans are surviving, and in some cases thriving. I'm Brad Hunt, and this is American Paycheck. Farming has forever dominated the Cornhusker State. To this day, 92% of all Nebraskan land is either a farm or a ranch.
My family actually came from, a family of farmers.
And while farming jobs decline nationwide, still 1 in 4 jobs in Nebraska are related to agriculture.
It's not a glamorous job because you're going to be out in the cold to the heat of the day. It's 24/7.
Farming is insane. It's insane hours. The money is low. Your chance of failure is high. You can't plan for anything. Like, you can have the best plan and then it can hail.
But farms are evolving. Sweeping tech innovations have earned Nebraska a new title, the Silicon Prairie. At Northeast Community College Farm, Rob Thomas works at the surprising intersection of high tech and hay bales.
Whenever I first moved out here, I just wanted to concentrate on school. I started looking at 2-year colleges because I didn't want to go back for a bachelor's in ag just because trying to keep the cost down a little bit.
What we do is we'll take our iPad out in the field, and what it'll do is we're using satellite imagery, and it's kind of telling us where the good spots of the field are. So where there's more chlorophyll content, where there's more vegetation growing, it'll give us a dark green reading. And then where there's no vegetation or, there could be a disease or something in there, it'll show up as a red area.
We're looking at how the nutrients are being taken up from the soil and getting into the plant. So that way we can kind of determine
exactly how much water you need to give it or how much sun or...
Yep.
Interesting. So precision ag basically allows you to be more specific with whatever the resources you're getting the plant.
Yes. So it allows us to really focus in on site-specific management. And that's a term you'll hear a lot in precision ag is, every single acre we're managing differently so that we can use less nutrients or get the nutrients to the right part of the plant at the right time.
By avoiding a one-size-fits-all approach, precision agriculture increases profits and preserves resources. It's not just corn that's getting the tech treatment. Vishal Singh's Smart Kettle ear tag is another Silicon Prairie revolution.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Yeah,
Brad.
Brad Vishal, nice to meet you. So we've got a ear tag-based platform. So what the ear tag does is it gets the temperature and the activity patterns of an individual animal, and all that data is sent to a central base station, which uploads it to our cloud servers. What cattle typically do is they hide their symptoms from people. That's why a human, it's very hard for them to detect the illness in the animals. It just increases efficiency at the operation. So you're able to detect illness early, therefore you're able to intervene early on. The sooner you give an animal a treatment, the better the chances it has of recuperating quickly. So it's a better outcome that way. When we first started, I thought this is going to be a much easier thing to do, but the hardware doesn't exist off the shelf, the software does not exist, the data science is not there, so all this stuff has to be created from zero, basically. A lot of ag companies are starting to get more into technology, precision agriculture, so there's opportunities for people who have software development backgrounds or data science background because there's more and more technology coming into agriculture.
Precision agriculture creates 15,000 new science and engineering jobs each year.
So this is our Greenhouse Innovation Center.
So you guys are the ones creating the robots that are taking over the world.
This is our
I'm just using the robot.
This team of millennial scientists have become pioneers in the farm tech mecca, thanks to their plant phenotyping robot.
Here we have 2 sensors. Actually, it's a fiber optic with a spectrometer, which can measure the leaf reflectance data. So then we can investigate the healthy situation of the plants.
The robot picks corn and screens its full biological content in under 60 seconds. No human is beating that.
I'm originally from India, but agriculture was really attractive to me. It's every ag engineer's dream to work in Nebraska.
I was doing my PhD in Berkeley, living on $26,000 a year, and so I got to move from living in a studio and barely making ends meet out to Lincoln, Nebraska, where I have a mortgage on a house that is less than the rent on that studio apartment. So in Nebraska, I mean, you often see the case of, there's a family farm that's been on the farm for generations, and there may not be anyone in the next generation who really wants to move back and take the farm over. And one of the things that I think is really powerful about automation is that it is making the job of farming a more appealing one. So if you're a farmer, you've got maybe 40 chances to make a profit in your entire life. So if we can do a better job of making sure that there are fewer years where you're actually in the red, that makes farming more appealing.
Not everyone has a robot and smart cattle ear tags. Taylor and Susie had to learn how to farm the old-fashioned way, from the internet.
A lot of what we learned was on YouTube and like how to start selling to restaurants and just how to like kind of put a farm together. There's a guy, his name's Curtis Stone, and he's on YouTube and just puts out tons of videos. I mean, I spent like months worth of YouTube hours.
So Taylor and I started working in restaurants. That's how we met. I was bartending and he was in the kitchen. And we were just really inspired by our chef's relationship with the local farmers. We saw them come into the kitchen and bring this beautiful produce, like dark tans and dirty. And we were just kind of like, let's try that.
These are the beans. Like I said, we'll have a lot more come Wednesday. The tomatoes so far. And
it's always been good. The flavor is great. There's no chemicals added, Joe. I started buying them since he was living in an apartment, growing at a small location.
I was living in a third-story apartment, so we got some just like growing lights. All of a sudden, we had to basically do what a weed grow operation would do, and like black out windows and like.
We got raided.
And so we got raided.
Pounding on the door, and then they had to come and see like what we were growing.
So then her dad, luckily he's a large optimist himself, and he gave us the loan to buy this property, basically telling us, don't be scared, take the risk. If you don't do it now, you're gonna hate yourself. So like, go do it.
Taylor and Susie's case, I think, is very interesting because they are great at marketing. On social media, that's the thing that farmers don't think of. If you're a farmer, you're good at growing stuff. Maybe you're not as good at selling stuff.
And that's what's cool about the time we live in. Like, we can all upload our information into Instagram, and we can all upload it into YouTube, and we learn so much. Now people come to the market excited from the posts that you do.
Like, people want to be closer to their food. They want to understand where it came from, how it was grown.
In Nebraska, we saw how tech and tradition are merging instead of clashing. Will other industries follow the Silicon Prairie's lead? Only time will tell. But for now, all that matters is tomorrow's paycheck.